What is going on, Knicks Nation? The New York Knicks beat the Indiana Pacers 128 to 115. Appreciate every single one of you guys joining tonight for another Knicks Nation post-game show. A lot of stuff to talk about. Got the Discord pinned up in the comments. Hit the Discord if you want to call in later in the show. Subscribe, smash the like button for a big Knicks victory. And appreciate every single one of you guys giving me your time. This game was the Josh Hart and Karl-Anthony Towns game, right? Look, Knicks beat the Pacers 128-115. What a performance by both of them. Karl-Anthony Towns especially was dominating the Pacers all night long. Pacers had no one to guard this man, and he was getting to wherever he wanted, whenever he wanted. Cat was just awesome. Karl-Anthony Towns was just awesome. 40 points, 12 rebounds, bounce back. That's what great players do, right? Had a pretty bad showing against Boston, right? And pretty much everyone didn't really look good except JB versus Boston. And then tonight he bounced back. That's what great players do. They bounce back, and Cat was just incredible tonight. And Josh Hart, man, I mean, the Pacers could not stop this man crashing the boards. They could not stop him in the paint. They just couldn't stop his energy. And that's what gave you one of those Josh Hart games, 30 points, 10 rebounds from Josh Hart. After a report came out that said that his knee was bothering him and he may need a procedure this summer. And Josh Hart later debunked that on Twitter, on X, and said, look, don't believe everything you want to hear. And then Josh Hart comes out with this performance. This performance from Josh Hart, man. Man, oh man, 30 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists from Mr. Josh Hart. And we'll get to Deuce McBride. We'll get to Deuce. Deuce is back. Shout out to Campaign stepping up for Jalen Brunson while Jalen Brunson was in foul trouble. Shamet even hit a 3, right? Shamet looked okay. We'll get to everything. Appreciated you guys once again joining me for another Knicks Nation post-game show. We are just getting started here. See who's in the chat. Knicks 100 GM, what's going on? Appreciate you in the chat. Dis Rover. What's going on, Dis Rover? Appreciate you. Yuri. What's going on, Yuri? Appreciate every single one of you. Tony says, I don't want to hear about Karl-Anthony Towns' finger. Man, look. Indiana, coming into this game, guys, Indiana has won 5 straight games against the New York Knicks in Indiana. 5 straight games, including the playoffs. Remember, Indiana has been a tough place to play for this Knicks team. And it's like one of those house of horrors. Like, for some reason, the Knicks just struggle in Indiana. And that's why tonight I was kind of nervous. I was nervous coming into this game. I was like, look, you're on a back-to-back. Only 2 games left before the All-Star break, right? OG Anunoby came into this game a game-time decision. You love to see that, but don't push it. Please sit out another game, and that's where you get like 12 more days off, and you can come back after the All-Star break, OG. But Indiana won 5 straight against us in Indiana, and the Knicks are now 12-12 against teams over 500 this season. So that, we're 500. 12-12 against teams that are over 500 this season. So tonight was just an awesome win, guys. I mean, hard performance from Towns, Payne, and Indiana has been one of those house of horrors. And the Knicks just pretty much from, the second quarter on, they just dominated this Pacers team. And they were just too much for them on the glass, too much energy, too much stuff in the paint. And it was led by one of their best players in Karl-Anthony Towns, who was simply dominating. And we haven't seen Towns play this well. Like he looked great tonight, man. This is the Towns before the finger injury. Like, this is what he was doing. And it's just a positive sign that on February 11th, yes, you have a back-to-back. It's just a positive sign, in my opinion, that Towns played like this against this Indiana team and all systems were a go. And it's a positive sign. Let's get to this box score. It's a positive sign that he attempted 8 threes. All positive signs. 14 of 23 from the field, 3 of 8 from 3. 9 and 9 from the free throw line. You love to see that. 4 offensive rebounds. Even showed us a little bit of Isaiah Hartenstein a little bit, crashing the offensive board. I was like, okay, Cat. Okay, Cat. Big Cat. I still don't have my soundboard for every time I say cat, Raw, raw, raw. All right, let's not do that again. But yeah, this was Cat's, one of his best games, if not his best game since that thumb injury. And I was concerned. Boston, he didn't really look good and didn't really look aggressive. And I was under the impression, like, Cat, if you're hurt, just sit out. But he came out tonight and shut us all up because Cat was awesome, man. Karl-Anthony Towns was incredible. And, Josh Hart again, especially in that third quarter, guys. I don't know if you guys, I'm sure you remember, but they tried putting Obi Toppin on Josh Hart, and this dude was just killing him tonight. 12 of 16 from the field from Mr. Josh Hart. He looked rested. He looked good, man. And that's what you love to see about with this Knicks team, right? Look, Brunson was in foul trouble. I just tweeted on the Knicks Nation page that the last time Jalen Brunson, at Knicks Nation on X, by the way, the last time Jalen Brunson scored in double single digits, November 6, 2023. So he was in foul trouble for the majority of the game, obviously, but that's just a testament to his greatness. But Brunson picked up his 5th foul in that third quarter. Just, I thought, he picked up 2 fouls back to back. And it's like, come on, JB. But, you didn't really, he gave you 7 assists in the time he played. And you love that. But you were carried by Josh Hart, Karl-Anthony Towns. And honestly, let's get to Deuce McBride, man. You guys all know what I've been saying about Deuce. Right? And he finally gave us something really positive tonight. So shout out to Deuce. Shout out to Deuce. Alicia says, I still can't get over the Celtics loss. Yeah, that's in the rearview mirror now. We're moving on. But yeah, I mean, this was a good bounce back win for the Knicks. Castro, what's going on? Appreciate you in the chat. Just Rover says, on the real, I hope he barely sweats in the All-Star game. Towns needs to be this dominating without foul trouble. Yeah, Cat looked awesome, man. MVP candidate Karl-Anthony Towns balled out tonight. I mean, that's what he looked like, an MVP tonight. And a night where JB was in foul trouble, Bridges, 3 of 7, 6 points. Precious, I thought, lost the ball a few times, got pulled, got yanked. Don't know why Tom Thibodeau keeps starting Precious Achiuwa. The Deuce McBride lineups are just clearly better, Dibs. So, but yeah, and a night where you got some contributions from Miles McBride and Campaign, where I thought Campaign was just awesome. In the time that Jalen Brunson was out, the Knicks needed, obviously, Campaign to step up because Jalen Brunson was obviously in foul trouble. But Campaign in that third quarter and even in that fourth quarter, look, Thibodeau pretty much sat Brunson the entire second half. And Brunson got back in the game at the end of the fourth quarter, but there was a point in that fourth where Brunson got up to come in the game and Campaign made a nice, move, had a nice shot, and Brunson sat down, and Campaign pretty much finished the game, even though Brunson came in. But, shout out to Campaign and shout out to McBride. I thought those two, and shout out to Landry Shamet. Don't want to overlook him. I thought, Shamet, 5, anytime you can get 5 and 9 from the field from Landry Shamet, you take it. You take it and run. You take it and run. Shamet, he has that heat on his back. He has that heat on his back, DeLon Wright. And that's another thing that kind of went under the radar. Yes, we acquired DeLon Wright, and we automatically assumed that DeLon Wright was going to take Shamet's minutes. And it's sort of like the Jericho Sims, because you remember every time Huck Porty would do well, Sims would just come out the next game and, play well, because it's competition now. You got to ball out. And if you make mistakes, you got someone behind you that's chomping at the bit. So maybe DeLon Wright, the acquisition of DeLon Wright lit a fire under Shamet. 11 points for Shamet, 4 assists, 1 steal. You don't see that. You don't see that from Landry. So shout out to him. Shout out to him. Appreciate you guys in the chat. Once again, Knicks win 128-115. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. Smash the like button. I'll get to your comments right now. Tony says Cat hasn't looked good versus Boston in 2 meetings. Tony says, where was Bridges tonight? He was out there, Tony. That's the beauty of this Knicks team, man. I mean, we look, Bridges 3 of 7 from the field. Defensively, he was, kind of getting beat a little bit, but 6 points, 5 assists, 5 rebounds. It's going to be nights like this, guys. There's going to be nights like this, and Cat played Hercules today. And Cat and Josh Hart, thing 1 and thing 2. Just 70 points between both of them. 70 points, 22 rebounds, 10 assists, 5 steals between both of them. That is an awesome night. I don't know what they ate prior to the game, but keep on doing it. Because, look, Pacers aren't really a good defensive team, but coming into this game, like I said prior, Pacers had won 5 straight against you. Indiana has been a house of horrors, and you're just coming off a bad loss against the Boston Celtics in MSG where they flat out embarrassed you. So it was all about how the New York Knicks were going to respond, and tonight I thought they did a tremendous job in their response. And now you got one more game into the All-Star break, and we're good, man. Like we're good, honestly. They are 35-18. You win tomorrow against, I think we play the Hawks for the 15th time this season. I don't know who the heck is making up the schedule. But what is this, like the 5th time we playing the Hawks? So you beat them. You're in MSG. You're flying back home tonight. Let's say you end the break 36-18 with Mitchell Robinson coming back and with OG Anunoby on the brink of coming back. Sounds good to me. And tonight you also extended your lead a little bit because Indiana is behind you in the standings. So, look, this is a great win. It's a great win. No matter how you put it, Indiana has been playing well. They've been playing better as of late, and they've been pretty much on the Knicks' tail and trying to leapfrog the Knicks. And just credit to the squad, man. Credit to the squad for just coming out here with a focus, with an intensity, and just getting it done. You further separate yourself from Indiana. You're in the 3rd seed. I mean, you've been living in the 3rd seed, it seems like forever, right? And that's our home. We're nice and comfy in that 3rd seed. We're comfortable in that 3rd seed, and I'll take it. 17-8. 17-8 away from Madison Square Garden. It's pretty good if you ask me. Ladies and gents. Joe, what's going on? Appreciate you. Thank you for hopping on. This Rover says, I want that man more rested than a hibernating bear going into springtime. Let's go, man. Let's go. Loud and clear. What's going on, Loud and clear? We'd love to see Mikal have a good game tonight. We're going to need him to produce more. I believe he will. I believe so too. He's already had a good game against Trae Young. He's going to get the Trae Young assignment. You know that. And the Hawks have been, look, they've won 3 in a row, but they're dealing with some injuries. They just traded DeAndre Hunter. So, Trae Young, MSG again for the 18th millionth time this season. Can't escape it. I hope this is the last time we play the Hawks. I hope. But, yeah. E. Gonzalez. What's going on, E. Gonzalez? Appreciate you in the chat. Says this was a great win. AJ Live says Mikal is a bum. DiVincenzo was a better shooter. Mikal's not a bum, AJ Live. Mikal is not a bum. He has these games. He's been solid for this team. And I know you're going to look at the box score and, I know defensively really wasn't great tonight, but it happens, man. It happens. It happens. El Figgy says, feeling better. Yes, man, feeling better. Yuri says, Yuri, I see you in the VC. We'll get to you. You know, I'll get to you in the VC. E. Gonzalez says, Deuce and Shamit were the players of the team. Look, Deuce and Shamit were awesome, like we said. And shout out to you know the funny thing is, as much as Tom Thibodeau yells at and screams at referees, he has never picked up a technical foul this season. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just referees having respect for him and just knowing that, you know, he's going to yell at me for, you know, maybe 10, 15 seconds, and then he's going to be okay in the next 5, and he's going to be my friend. Dibs picked up his first technical foul tonight, and I was like, I'm not sure the referee who called it, but, you know, that was interesting. And to go along with that, he was still yelling at the referee. It's almost like he was daring him to get thrown out of this game. I was like, okay, Dibs, let's calm down a little bit. But yeah, Deuce McBride, going back to McBride. McBride in the first half, 3 triples, 12 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. Now, I came on the post game after the Boston Celtics game when McBride got outplayed. Well, he got outplayed by the little rascal on Boston, Peyton Pritchard. And I said, I want McBride to have, look, I thought McBride would have a better year than Peyton Pritchard. I do still think he's better than Peyton Pritchard. But you just haven't seen the consistency with him. But tonight, 3 triples in the first half, 12 points, 2 rebounds for Deuce McBride. He looked awesome. And please, Tom Thibodeau, stop going to the Precious Achiuwa. I think in the first half, he went to a Precious Achiuwa, Huck Purdy, and Josh Hart lineup that he just scrapped right away and didn't really, you know, do anything for the Knicks. Huck Purdy got in this game for a little bit too in the first half. But, you know, Precious, I thought, was just, you know, there was a time in the second half where he turned the ball over and, yeah, and just not his best basketball game for Precious Achiuwa. But the Deuce McBride lineups continue to bear fruit, right? No matter what you think of McBride, no matter what I think of McBride, if you look deeper, if you look behind the curtain, if you look in the analytics, the lineups with Deuce McBride at the 2 are all positive. And you saw it tonight. And it hasn't been consistent with Deuce, but he was awesome. This is the Deuce McBride that, you know, I know that we have on the bench. It just hasn't been consistent. And I'm just hoping that he can take tonight and build off of it. And he's another one who has been dealing with injury, right? So I don't think it's fair for, you know, me to say, you know, he's been having a bad year. Well, he has. And not a bad year, but, you know, in my estimation, he's had a underwhelming season thus far for what I've expected from him. But tonight was awesome from Deuce. Shout out to Deuce. Shout out to Deuce. Shout out to Deuce. This Rover says Cat don't play any amount of defense. Pick and roll stuff was, you know, not great tonight, but hey, when you drop 40 and 12 and 9 and 9 from the free throw line and shoot 3 of 8 from 3, I mean, have at it, man. He was dominating, guys. Dominating this game. MVP Cat showed up. And we, you know, we missed this dude. We missed this version of Cat because, like I said earlier, I was worried about the finger. I was getting concerned. I was like, you're dealing with the knee situation now. You're dealing with the finger. Even tonight, he was grabbing, I think, his index finger when he got fouled. They were finally calling fouls like on the opponent against Cat, and I'm like, thank you. Like, Cat gets fouled. Cat has one of the worst whistles in the league to begin with. Always getting fouled. And I know sometimes it can seem like he's complaining a lot. You hear him like, oh, that's a foul. You hear him screaming at the refs like, that's a foul, that's a foul. Got to the free throw line 9 times tonight. You love it. 9 and 9 from the free throw line. Didn't play no games. And was awesome. So shout out to Cat, man. Yo, Alpha, what's going on? Appreciate you. AJ Live says, Knicks need Trey Murphy. Mikal is a poser NBA player. AJ Live, I know you. You don't like Mikal. I get it. But if you were to grade Mikal Bridges from beginning of the season to now, what grade would you give him? If I was grading Mikal Bridges, I would give him a B. A B. I know when you look at the box score for tonight, you see Mikal, and coming off the game versus Boston, where, didn't get it much from anyone but JB in that game. He only attempted 7 shots, guys. 5 assists, 5 rebounds, 6 points. Defensively, it was a little bit rough. But L Figgy says B-. Tony says B+. AJ Live says C-. Oh, that's fair. That's fair. B-, I'll take that, L Figgy. B+, Tony, I agree. C- below average. I think you got to take the picks out of the equation. I know it's hard to do, but, it's February 11th, man. Mikal Bridges is on our squad, and he, in the most part, has turned it around from his time, from the beginning of the season. And, I would give him a B. 18 points a game, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 49% from the field, good efficiency. What is he shooting from 3 this year? 36% from 3, so he's pretty much at his career average, if not below, right? He's a 37, 38% three-point shooter. So you have reason to believe like that number will regress a little bit. I think for the role he's been asked to do, I think he's been solid, man. This is year 1 of Mikal Bridges, right? I mean, a lot of people just wanted Mikal Bridges to come in here and right away make an impact. He is great for what the Knicks need him to do, right? And you'll see it tomorrow. He's going to have the Trae Young assignment. And last time he played Trae Young, he was awesome against Trae Young. So I think the heat is unwarranted a little bit. 74% from the free throw line. That is down. He's an 80% free throw shooter for his career. So no Mikal Bridges hate. Like Gary says, year 1 of year 4. Big Taz says A+. Mikal should have been an all-star. Mikal should have been an all-star. Andres says, yo, you can't grade until after the playoffs are over. Look, I'm just saying right now, Andres, appreciate the comment. I'm just saying right now, if you were to grade Mikal Bridges, what would it be? Me personally, I'll give it a B. He's been solid, man. He's been solid for this Knicks team, and defensively he has picked it up a little bit. And I just went through his numbers are a little bit down. And look, you traded a lot for him, but I think come playoff time he's going to be very valuable. The mid-range stuff, the corner stuff, he's going to be very, very valuable. And the numbers with him and OG Anunoby on the court. Remember before, in the beginning of the season, I was saying on the podcast that they weren't great. Well, they're starting to become better and better. And when they're both off the court, defensively, the numbers say that they're, not good. And guys, it takes time, man. It takes these guys time, right? Mikal went from being the number, 3 option in Phoenix to being the man in Brooklyn to being, the number 3 or 4 option in New York. These things take time, man. It's year one. Just let it marinate for a little bit. Let it sit in the sauce for a little bit for Mikal Bridges. You know, I'm not going to get on him. I'm not. And he's leading the league in minutes still. So I'm not going to get on him. Tyrese Halliburton. What did Tyrese do tonight? Wonder what Wally Zerbiak is thinking right now. Tyrese Halliburton. 16 points, 8 assists, 5 boards. I'm so mad we lost to these guys in 7 games, by the way. Like, I am. Like, I am just so mad we lost to these guys in 7 games. And the Knicks, they won the season series. You went in Indiana, a place where you couldn't win for the last 5 times, and you beat them. I'm still pissed off at that game 7. But, look, Indiana is a team that you might face in the playoffs. You might. Right? You're sitting at 3. They're right behind you. They could fall back a little bit, so we'll see. But, you know, right now, we're facing Cleveland coming out the All-Star break. That's going to be a very interesting game, especially if Mitch is back. They need to beat Cleveland, in my opinion. They are 0-3 against Boston and Cleveland this year. They are 0-5 against OKC, Cleveland, and Boston. So, Cleveland, I still think the Knicks can take them in a 7-game series, but I need to see it, especially in these next couple of weeks when we play them. Which one do we play them? Let me tell you guys exactly when we play them. Sorry. February 21st, Friday night at Cleveland. And the latest report is that Mitchell Robinson is going to possibly be back before March 1st. So it can be any of these games. Mitchell Robinson said today that, let me pull up the graphic. This is what Mitchell Robinson said. He spoke to the media for the first time. He said, "Let them sleep. I'll wake them their asses up." When he was asked, Mitchell Robinson, for the people who have forgotten what he can do, let them sleep. I'll wake their ass up. That's what Mitch said. So, Big Mitch is coming. Big Mitch is coming. Jabroni says 1.5 stocks per game for Mikal. Jabroni, they sleeping. They sleeping. Robert says Knicks use him differently than the Suns or the Nets used him. Not his strong suit, but I think he will keep getting better in his role. Yeah, look, guys, I said he went from Phoenix. He was extremely comfortable playing with Devin Booker, Chris Paul. I don't even know why they traded him. Obviously, they wanted Kevin Durant. But, you know, they traded him to Brooklyn, and in Brooklyn, he was the man. And there was times in Brooklyn where they were calling him a superstar. He was dropping 40-plus points a game. You know, last year it kind of flamed out for them. And this year, new situation. Yeah, you had to pay the price to get him, but that's the price of doing business with your crosstown rival. They're not really a rival. I don't want to call them a rival. But that's the price of doing business with Brooklyn. Had to give out those picks. Obviously, his contract extension is we'll see about the summer. And we'll see what happens in the playoffs, guys. But like I said, if I was to grade it, I'll give it a B. I'll give it a B. Big Taz says, I appreciate that. Mikal is trying to fit in with what the Knicks are trying to do. Andres says, the only issue I have with Mikal is when Brunson and Towns are having a bad night, he refuses to be aggressive and carry the team. Tonight, I thought the Knicks were having Mikal Bridges take the ball up more often than they have, right, up the court. Noticed that a little bit in the first half. But yes, that is him just not being comfortable. And look, he will get comfortable, and they've talked about it. And, you know, ever since that game in Charlotte where he got essentially benched. He's turned it around. He's turned it around. Halliburton is 6 man. I gotta catch up on these comments right when I'm talking. Sorry about that, guys. All right. Knicks 100 GM says probably our best win of the season. I wouldn't call it our best win of the season, Knicks 100 GM. We've had some good ones. And, Memphis was a good one. Denver, Sacramento, at Minnesota was a good one. We've had some good ones. But this one I thought was up there for kind of the Karl-Anthony Towns because I was nervous about him. I now that we know that Cat, he said that he is going to play through the thumb injury. And tonight he was awesome. So he was awesome. Yeah, Knicks 100 GM without Brunson. Yeah. Look, Brunson got into foul trouble, and I'm sure he'll be the first one to admit that he those are dumb fouls, especially his fifth foul that he picked up in the third quarter. And, Thibs didn't go right to him in that fourth quarter because he rode campaign, pause. He rode campaign at Deuce McBride, and Towns was just dominating. Towns is a beast, E. Gonzalez says. Knicks 100 GM says we had the lead most of the game, most of the night. Yeah, guys, tonight was awesome, man. Cat dominated. McBride, shout out to Deuce McBride. Okay, so this stat was from TNT. So when Karl-Anthony Towns has 16 points in the paint, 16 or more points in the paint, the New York Knicks are 9-3. He had that in the first half, ladies and gentlemen. So when he's getting busy in the paint, right? When Towns is getting busy in the paint, Knicks are good, man. 16 and 9-3. 9-3 when getting busy in the paint. And team stats. Look at this, dominating, man. You love to see this, man. 48 boards, 36. You love to see the 87% free throw percentage, 20-23 from the free throw line. Oof. 37% from three. Oof. You love that, man. 13 offensive boards, 37 assists. 37 assists, man. 6 steals, 2 blocks, 20 fast break points, 68 points in the paint. Look, you could tell that was pretty much circled on the Knicks bulletin board, man. You get in the paint versus these guys. They can't stop you. Hart, Towns, all over the paint. Even Campaign was doing, hitting some tough layups in the paint. And they were just bullying them, bullying the Pacers. Pacers, like I've said, have been playing well. They're 14-9 at home. Knicks have lost 5 straight in Indiana. And they came in and dominated. They dominated. This Rover says, don't jinx it, but it'll be hilarious if Mikal goes 7-7 from 3 tonight. If Mikal Bridges goes 7-7 from 3 tomorrow night, I want AJ Live to pop up again. I want L Figgy says Mikal Bridges better figure it out. I want all of you guys to pop out tomorrow. Please pop out. Mikal plays good against, look, last time versus Atlanta. Mikal was awesome. And you're home again. Mikal Bridges plays great in Madison Square Garden, by the way. Chris says, great win. Now beat Atlanta tomorrow night. Sick of losing at the Garden. Yeah, you got to bounce back. Got to get that taste out of your mouth, pause, against the Atlanta Hawks. You got to get that taste out of your mouth because, Boston, bad loss, right? So, and the pretty much the first half. I don't know why they call it the first half of the season because you're past that point now, but ending on a high note. Two straight wins, All-Star break, Mitch coming back, OG coming back, And they were good. Got some tough games coming out the break, too. So, ended on a high note. Ended on a high note. Tony says, and I'm concerned about this team's defense. Also, the guys have to know if you have a lead, you keep attacking the basket and get to the line. Sometimes they let teams back in taking unnecessary shots. Speaking of the defense, guys, look, Cat pick and roll stuff. Pacers were attacking it. Pacers got 115 on the Knicks tonight. Mikal Bridges, I thought defensively tonight wasn't that great. And, you know, it's funny. The Knicks gave up 27 in the fourth, 28 in the third. Brunson has actually been like a sneaky good defender for them. But, yeah, you're missing the OG. And I know there's no excuses, but, you know, it's the name of the game now, guys. I mean, I think a lot of people are like magnifying that Boston matchup, which you need to because you got to get through them if you want to get to where you want to get to. But I think defensively we'll get better. You've seen Tom Thibodeau teams in the past just continue to get better, especially after the All-Star break. Tom Thibodeau is one of the lead coaches in terms of winning percentage in the second half of the season. And that's for a reason. Players are getting comfortable with the system. New faces are getting comfortable with the system. You're getting bodies back. So it's a whole bunch of things put together. But I think the Knicks are in a good spot, man. I really do. I think they're in a good spot. I still think they're in a lead offense. And defensively, they got two forces coming back. And I know when you're talking about relying on Mitchell Robinson and OG Anunoby, I know it's like, it's scary. It's scary to rely on them. But Mitch is a presence down low, and OG Anunoby, you know what he can do down low. I mean, anywhere on the court. So when you get those guys back, you get reinforcements back, you take the All-Star break, you rest up, you heal up, you go in the chamber. I think they'll come out strong in the second half. I really do. So, not really worried. Not really worried, but it is something to talk about, right? And I'll try to look deeper in the numbers for the pod. No pod this past Sunday because of Super Bowl and whatnot, but tomorrow I'll try to look deeper tomorrow to get you guys some more stats, but not really worried. David, what's going on, David? Ball movement and at least 30 assists per game has been key to the Knicks' success this year. Not Brunson scoring more than 30 points. Brunson must play like a real point guard and get everyone involved. Look, Brunson is having a career season in terms of, dishing and even scoring a rock. And yeah, I think the Knicks record when they have 30 plus assists is, I don't know the record off the top of my head, but it's really damn good. It's really good. And when the ball's moving, Cat, I thought he had a nice pass, and especially in one of his best passes of the season in the first half. They were running a fast break, did a little whoop whoop behind the back, caught Josh Hart, awesome, and won. I thought Cat tonight looked great, man. Cat was awesome, guys. Cat was awesome tonight. His passing, his scoring, his rebounding. Cat was dominating, man, dominating. But yeah, when the Knicks move the ball, offense looks great. Offense looks great. El Figgy says, yeah, but now Josh has to have a procedure on his knee this summer. El Figgy, Josh squashed that report like Yuri says in the chat. Appreciate you guys in here once again. Chris says the Knicks have to lead the league in losing home games as a big favorite tomorrow night. They are 8-point favorite against Atlanta. We should beat them. We should beat the Hawks. And Mikal, last time he played Atlanta, he was good. He was awesome. Trae Young and Mikal, they have history together. And once again, you play the Atlanta Hawk for the 50th time this season. But going to the All-Star break, 36-18, playing well, playing great. Not great, but 2-game winning streak, And you come out rested, and, the guys will have fun this weekend, Josh Hart will put his toes in the sand, like he has said. Man, Hart should be an all-star, man. He should be, man. Hart was awesome tonight. Want to deviate a little bit. Get well soon, pack home daddy. He's been out with a toe injury. So I want to send some well wishes to pack home daddy. Get well soon, Mr. Daddy. And all right, let's get to Yuri in the Discord, see what Yuri has to say. Those of you that are new to the channel, you can hit the Discord link. It is pinned up in the comments, and you can call into the show. A little bit of a new feature that I implemented this year. If you want to become a member, hop on the live stream for about 5 minutes, and we can chop it up. It's a cool little feature. Let's get to Yuri in the Discord. Yuri, Knicks win 128-115 against the Pacers. What we got?
First thing, AJ, go join OKC. Go join that bandwagon of a squad. Go join that bandwagon of a squad. First thing. Second thing, good win tonight. Needed a bounce back win.
Great win tonight.
Needed a bounce back win. Cat did his thing. Josh came out, reported about that injury. He squashed that, obviously. So I believe Josh Hart. If it comes from play, I believe him. First thing. Overall, the game ball-wise, I'm giving a game ball to Cat.
Of course, man. Cat would you say this was Cat's best, like one of the best performances since his thumb injury? Wouldn't you say that?
Yes.
Yeah, he was awesome.
Yes, I would actually.
Yeah, Cat.
I would, because you had games where you really were what's the word I'm looking for? You really were struggling with Cat.
Look, don't get me wrong, Yuri. I was nervous. I wanted him to sit because of his thumb. Then he crept up on the injury report with his knee. And even versus Boston, he didn't look right? And you're sitting there like, even on the Michael K show, I was listening to him a little bit, and he said, look, if you're hurt, just sit. And because you need these guys for the long playoff push. But, look, that's why I'm a guy with just a mic, man. This dude came out tonight and just annihilated the Pacers. They had no answer.
He shut everybody up. Yeah. Where a game that Jalen Brunson did not have it, where Precious did not have it, where Josh Hart helped out. It was the Cat and Josh Hart game tonight. And that's what I love about this team. There was reports about this team being soft, not gritty. And this team has shown grit. This team has shown that they're tough. And I think what most of us don't realize is we get too hard on our guys for having a bad game or having, we're hung up on bad losses. Like we're hung up on a Boston loss right now. Let's be honest here. Boston's a top 10 team in the NBA right now. They're number 2 seed for a reason.
Yeah.
We got a while to catch up to them. If you look at this season, year one, I think we're doing pretty all right for year one.
Yeah.
With third seed right now. You're third team and the best in the NBA. Yeah, sure, you haven't had, good wins. We had a few signature wins, but we haven't beaten Cleveland, Boston yet. And I think we do pull out a dub against Cleveland. And I think we do pull out one dub against Boston. I'm being nice. My prediction is they sweep us in the regular season series.
Yeah.
And they somewhat beat us in the second round. That's my prediction anyway. I feel like that series, if Knicks and Boston do go at it, that's going to be a 4-1 victory against the Knicks.
Yes, sir. Yuri, I appreciate the call, Yuri.
Also, I want to say one thing. Nick, yeah, AJ, from one New Yorker, wherever the hell you are from, I don't care. I'm unfiltered. I say what I want to say. I'll say it again. AJ, get the hell off my team if you hate Mikal. Nick Yak,
all right. Let's calm down. Let's be respectful. Can't we all just get along? Can't we all just get along? Let's be respectful, Yuri. Come on. If we're going to call in, let's be respectful, even though they're Nick Yak and even though they're saying some stuff in the chat. Look, we all get some heat. I get some heat. I just let it go, man. Just let it go. But appreciate you guys. As always, it's the crew. It's the Knicks Nation crew in the chat, man. We're all Knicks fans at the end of the day. All right, so El Figgy says, hopefully Deuce will still have a hot hand tomorrow and Precious can help out off the bench. Yeah, look, it's going to be interesting when Mitchell Robinson comes back. I don't know. I wouldn't say he takes Precious's minutes because I don't know. It's just you really haven't really gotten much from Precious offensively lately. And tonight was just, one of those games where it's like, It was a bad game from Precious. So it's interesting. Tom Thibodeau's going to, have to figure out these rotations when Mitch comes back. But, yeah, you're third in the East. You're in a good spot, guys. You're 8-2 in your last 10. And, look, the Boston loss sucked. It did. Kind of put us in things in perspective. Like, you're not there yet. You're not ready. I even thought James Edwards. Well, I heard James Edwards, a Knicks beat writer. I think he works for The Athletic. He said that the New York Knicks, these are his words. He said the New York Knicks have to feel embarrassed because they beat their team to beat Boston. And 2 times this season, the Boston Celtics have embarrassed them. And 2 times. So that kind of left a bad taste in your mouth after that game. And, you just wanted a bounce back win. Look, it's a long season. You got the All-Star break coming up. And we just, go from there. Ken E says, can we just agree we got to shut down Trae Young? Of course, we got to shut down Trae Young. We can't let Trae Young come into MSG and beat the New York Knicks. They've won 3 straight. They've kind of traded away their, good bench piece in DeAndre Hunter. They lost Jalen Johnson for the season. They are a play-in team currently at the moment. But you win that game, you're 36-18 going into the break. Right? It's a game in Madison Square Garden again. You take care of home cooking. And you go into the break feeling good about yourself. You go into the break feeling good about yourself. They coming for Yuri in the chat, saying Yuri's call after Boston wasn't too thrilled about that one. Because Yuri said after Boston, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Yuri said after Boston, it's just one game. And he brought the positivity after the game, which I get it. I understand it. But, after that game, the raw emotions were kind of just, that's not where my head went. That's not where most of your heads went. So, but in the bigger picture, look, I get it, man. But 2 times against Boston, you get smacked around like that. No good. No good. Stanley says we need to sign P.J. Tucker to harass Tatum in the playoffs. P.J. Tucker is a name to watch. I think I'm going to come out with a video about, buyout candidates and, who I think the Knicks would target in terms of the buyout market. And Christian Wood was just released by the Los Angeles Lakers. No, he's big, but he's hurt all the time. So the Knicks are limited to who they can sign in the buyout market because they're a first apron team. So it's just going to be names that don't really move the boat, right? But you still would like them to poke around and look. Poke around and look. Yeah, how about Jaleel Okafor, man? Good seeing him out there. I haven't seen him in what? He hasn't been in the league in what, 4 years? Yeah, he hasn't been in the league in. Hey, shout out to him working behind the scenes in the gym and the Pacers scooping him up. And not sure what that's gonna come. Not sure what that's gonna come about, but we just have to wait and see. Sand says we have to beat elite teams. Period. Yeah, we do. Woody, what's going on, Woody? Stanley says Christian Wood is intriguing. Think about Wood. I don't even think Christian Wood has played this year, right? He's always hurt. He can score, but he doesn't play defense. He's slow as molasses. And I don't know. Maybe the Knicks look at that, but I don't know. PJ Tucker, it's intriguing. Did they buy out PJ Tucker? Just spitballing here. Did he got traded to the Heat, right? Yeah, he got traded to the Heat. Is he a free agent? Did they waive him? Let me know in the chat. Buzzer Beater says, word on the street, Taj is coming back to the Knicks as a veteran presence. Why? Look, I love Taj Gibson, but that's not what we need. Like, that's not what we need. I love Taj, but nah, man. Like, that's not, no. I don't want Taj. I don't. And he'll be good, but for, veteran leadership behind the scenes and, that's all good and well. But, I think there's better options out there. So, no for Taj Gibson from me. Yes, Tucker got bought up by the Heat. Yeah, PJ Tucker's interesting. He's old, but he has experience, right? He has experience. Has playoff experience. He's a big body. He's tough. He's strong. He's interesting, PJ Tucker. What is he, 38 years old? Wow, he's 38 years old, PJ Tucker. Yeah, so you just, that's an interesting name. Nick Yash says, Yuri said we needed another year to win and dismissed this year is what pissed me off after the Boston game. We haven't played with Mitch yet and can beat anyone already playing a game. Let's all get along. But yeah, everyone has their opinions, right? Everyone's entitled to their opinion, but it's during that Boston loss, man, after that game, I was upset. I was pissed, right? Second time. They smacked you around. Second time. This time in your home court. And look, it's not really what you wanted to see. But we move on. El Figgy says, PJ Tucker stats. 1.7 points, 2.7 rebounds. If the Knicks are signing PJ Tucker, El Figgy, it's not to score. It's to just be that enforcer, right? That guy who can bump and grind, pause. That guy who can, get down and dirty. That's why he intrigues me. I don't need him to score. We got scores. We got plenty of scores. The starting five alone. Deuce, hopefully he can build off tonight. Campaign, you love to see him tonight. Shamet. Now that you got, competition behind Landry Shamet, maybe tonight wakes him up. And, when Shamet hit a 3 in the fourth quarter, he looked good. I was like, okay. That is important, guys, because we just haven't really been getting anything from Landry Shamet, right? And it's so tonight, good step in the right direction from Shamet. But Tucker can be that kind of enforcer for this team. Moses Brown, he's having a good year, right, in the G League. I thought Pacers got him, and then Knicks got him back in the G League, right? And he's been having a good year. I think he's, 7'3", 7'4". But right now, we just have to trust the Knicks front office, trust that they, will evaluate and, pinpoint exactly what we need. So. El Figgy says Mitch will always be questionable because of his health. Can't help if you can't stay healthy. Yeah, it's the risk. That's the risk with Mitchell Robinson, right? But look, you got to trust the front office. If anything, Leon Rose and Tom Thibodeau, they've given you nothing but just to trust them in terms of their move. They decided not to trade Mitchell Robinson because they felt good about where his rehab was at. Mitchell Robinson today spoke for the first time in front of the media and pretty much firing back at people and just saying, let them sleep, right? I'll post up the graphic again, but this is it. Let them sleep. I'll wake their ass up. That's from Mitchell Robinson. So you love the confidence. He's always had confidence. One thing about Mitchell Robinson is that he plays with confidence. And I remember times they were doing Hack-a-Mitch, and he would knock the free throws down in clutch situations, and you can't teach that, man. You can't teach that in players. Mitch he's fearless, right? And it's just unfortunate that he's gotten hurt. He had the Embiid assignment, clamped him, did a great job against Joel Embiid, and you can't teach Mitch's toughness. He has a mental toughness about him that I think will help the Knicks greatly. So you love that Mitch is in the media just spurring out the confidence. Shout out to Huck. Shout out to Huck. Tony says, if you could fix one thing about our team, what would it be? One thing about the Knicks, man. One thing. Man, in a perfect world, with everyone healthy, Mitch healthy, whether he's starting or he's on the bench, OG in the starting lineup, I honestly just think maybe another wing. Like a DeAndre Hunter, I think would have been perfect on this team. I think it's just that with a healthy Mitch and an OG and an OB. And you plug in DeAndre Hunter, maybe another ball handler, maybe, if campaign flames out a little bit, maybe another ball handler to kind of give you insurance. Hopefully that's Tyler Kolek. But I just think that's all we need, and we're good. With healthy Mitch again. AJ Live says, need a Tatum killer. Yeah. We do. We do need a Tatum killer. Jason Tatum, man. I think first the Knicks this year, he's just been unstoppable. He's been unstoppable this year versus the Knicks, and he's been having a great season, and that's what great players do. But come playoff time, I'm just hoping, guys, honestly, I am hoping we don't see the Boston Celtics until the Eastern Conference Finals. That's what you got to hope. You got to hope you don't see them until the Eastern Conference Finals. Right? Let's be real. You're not going to see them in the first round. You don't want to see them in a second. It's possible. I'm just hoping you don't you catch them in the Eastern Conference Finals, right? You get there. And we'll see what happens. Anything can happen. There's still a chance for the New York Knicks to take the third seed, right? A chance. I'm not saying it's possible. It's a chance. Boston is 38-16. The New York Knicks are what? 2.5 games back, if I'm doing my. But now they're, Boston has a tiebreaker, so that's a full game back. So you're 3.5 games back. So there's still a chance, but you just want to avoid Boston into the Eastern Conference Finals. I know, Stanley. Not possible with current standings. Knicks face Boston in the second round. I know. But I would say that's the best. That's the best avenue, right? That's the best avenue. Last year was perfect. Philly and then Indiana. And then you had one game away to get to Boston in the Eastern Conference Finals, and you couldn't get there. So that, I think, would be the Knicks' perfect scenario. And that's not me ducking from Boston. I don't want to duck from anything, right? I'm not ducking from smoke. I'm just saying look, they've owned us this year. Let's call it like it is. They've owned us. So, what'd I say? You mean second seed? Yeah, what'd I say? Sorry, I'm just rambling a little bit here. L Figure says, we can't duck the Celtics smoke. Yeah. Like, I'm not. We can't. But these two games that the New York Knicks have played Boston this year have kind of just, I wouldn't say broke my confidence, but especially the last one this past Saturday, it's like they just out-coached them and outclassed them. And it's like, damn. Again, when do we play Boston again? February 23rd. At Cleveland, at Boston, back to back. Knicks Twitter, Knicks. Look, I'm hoping the Knicks get 2 dubs here. That's a tough stretch, man. At Cleveland, and then you go to Boston again. Hopefully Mitch is back. I doubt it, but hopefully OG's back from then. But the Knicks really need to put out a good performance in Boston, especially at Cleveland too. They need to show that they can beat these teams, right? Because if you lose to Cleveland, you are 0-2 against Cleveland. If you lose to Boston again, you're 0-3 this season against Boston. Come playoff time, nobody's going to pick you. Like, you're not going to give anyone any sense of confidence that you can beat these teams. So I think you need to beat these teams, especially, look, this isn't 2 weeks. You play them again. Got to beat them. Yeah, Robert. Unfortunately, ESPN and ABC games haven't been kind to the Knicks. Tony says we shot the ball terribly 2 games versus Celtics, and again, we settled on shooting the 3 and not attacking the basket. Yeah, look, Boston, credit to, I thought they outcoached the Knicks last game. Luke Cornett and, I forgot the other guy coming in off the bench. They just played big, and the Knicks just couldn't match them. And we shot poorly, but you got to credit their defense too. And we just lost. But I think in these next 2 weeks, you gotta come out in Boston. You gotta win, man. You gotta give this fan base, because guys, if they go to Boston, and I'm not saying this is gonna happen, if they go to Boston on February 23rd and they get smacked again, you can't get embarrassed 3 times. You can't get embarrassed 3 times. So yeah, guys. Got a game tomorrow against the Hawks. I'll be on here doing another live stream. Last game before the All-Star break. Appreciate you guys tuning in once again. Subscribe, like, all that good stuff. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Shout out to Yuri for once again calling. Appreciate you guys in the chat. As always, it is Let's Go Knicks. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night. I got to go fix my poster now. Peace.